everyone. I just wanted to say something before the podcast started this week. A lot of people deal with postpartum depression, and from what I've learned today after doing this podcast with different women, we all had different experiences when it came to postpartum depression, but however it was. So if you know someone who has just had a baby and you just don't know, they could be putting on the front that they're doing okay, but they're really not. So check in with them, and maybe they'll talk to you. Just see how they're doing and encourage them to get help if they haven't done so yet. Thanks for listening.
Y'all ain't ready for this one.
Diverse Thoughts Video Podcast.
Put them damn kids to bed.
Girl, I got to go. Diverse Thoughts is on.
That's my shit.
You are not going to always like what someone else says, and you should always be able to what your own perspective.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Diverse Thoughts. We on the show today we have BESTYET Journey, YouTuber. She's back again. We also have T back. T speaks to the people. And today we also have Tiff joining us. Oh, she's muted, so you probably can't hear her, but she is here. Today we are going to be talking about postpartum depression, and each and every last one of us have different stories and different experiences that we have gone through in dealing with postpartum. So we wanted to do a podcast about that today, just for ourselves to just let other women know that you're not alone. We all have had our situations where it was difficult dealing with postpartum. We didn't know what to do, but sometimes it's good to come together with other women and support each other and just be there for one another. So we're gonna kick it right off. And I want to ask the ladies in the room, if you don't mind sharing, how many of you have multiple children? Everybody putting their hand up. Some people waving. See, she's somewhere. So everyone has more than one child that's on the podcast right now. And I would also like to ask ladies, how old is your youngest child? If you don't mind sharing that.
7 months.
And that was Tiff. You have a 7-month-old. Who else?
Well, I have a 2.5-month-old.
Okay, he has
and I have a 13-year-old.
A 13-year-old, and I have a 7-year-old. So wow, that would mean you guys have babies in the house right now.
Yeah.
So can only imagine what that's like. I do remember going through my stuff with my daughter when she was a baby. My son, he was a breeze, but the second child, good Lord. So I don't know what it is about them number twos, but for me, it was that second child. Let me ask you guys this, and whomever wants to answer first can. Do you think you experienced postpartum during after each pregnancy, or just recently for those who just had babies?
For me, I think it was my last two. I think the older I got, I experienced it.
You experienced it with the last two?
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, T?
Well, honestly, every woman go through a stage of postpartum. It's just that it's worse than others sometimes. But I can say for me, with my last baby, this is like the worst I can say I ever been from postpartum depression.
If do you mind just sharing a little bit of information as to why you say this was the worst?
It was. Well, I did a lot of crying. I was always emotional, getting upset about the smallest thing was setting me off. I wanted to be alone. I was irritated all the time. It's like you go through stuff, but when you have postpartum, it's like for some reason, for me, it's like it enhances everything that you're going through.
Okay. And that's what you were experiencing with this?
Absolutely. It was terrible. I was always having a meltdown.
How has it, and you said the baby's 2 months?
Yeah, 2.5 months.
How has it been as it's been progressing, as far as, has it been getting better, or do you kind of still feel the same, or has it changed?
At first, I thought it wasn't going to get any better anytime soon. But lately, it's like the more I talk to my husband about it or share it with somebody close to me that I can trust, it's like I feel a whole lot better than before. So it has its lows and highs, but I can say right now it's getting better for me.
Praise God.
It's getting better. You think it's better too because the baby's getting older, so you're kind of getting a regimen down and you're getting a routine down, and you're getting a feel for adjusting to having a newborn in the house.
Will I say that too? That could be it too.
Okay.
And she is my last. She is definitely the last.
Gotcha.
So I think that's what it is. That's coming with it too. But yeah. It can be overwhelming having a newborn, especially when you got used to a certain schedule and now your schedule have to change once again because you decided to give birth. And your baby is innocent, but you have to make the best of it. But sometimes it is overwhelming. I'm not going to sit up here and say every day I have a smile on my face. No, that is not the case.
Mm-hmm.
I have moments where I don't even want to get out of bed.
Yeah.
Okay. Tiff, let me ask you, because you have a youngin under the age of 1 as well. So has it gotten better since you're kind of getting used to the new baby being at home and you being home and getting adjusted and everything? Has it been getting better, or from where you were?
I think the older he's getting, like, the better it is. At first it was mainly because you don't get sleep, you tired, you frustrated, you need help, and if you don't have the help, like, that plays a part in it as well. So it's all of those things combined into one. And like she said, the baby is innocent, so you don't want to take it out on the baby, but it's like like she said, it's overwhelming. And now he doesn't need as much attention as before, so it's like it's a little easier, but it's still, some days are better than others, like
what it has been. Do you guys I do remember after my daughter was born, just trying to make time for myself. Do you ever get a moment to yourself? You don't get a moment to yourself, and that's tough too, just trying to get a moment to yourself.
I think that's the biggest part, like trying to get a moment to yourself. If I could have a moment to myself and regroup, I think I'll be okay. But when you don't get a moment to yourself, it's like you don't get a chance to recharge, you don't get a chance to regroup, and it's just all day nonstop, like on the go.
On the go.
Yeah.
And how old is he now?
7 months.
He's 7 months.
Mm-hmm.
But he's sleeping through the night.
Sleep through the night, but it's like I have other kids, so when he sleep, I'm trying to do something that I didn't get a chance to do, so it's tough.
I do understand that.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that it's so important to find a balance so that you don't wear yourself out, because I think we as moms, we kind of put on the cape that we can do it all. When at times it's like you got to make time for yourself, because if you don't, you're gonna go crazy.
Right.
So it's so important to kind of find a balance and figuring out what works for you and works for your baby. Does he, like, during the day, does he take naps, or is he does take naps?
Yeah, he take naps, but it's like now the naps are so short that shoot, I don't get to do nothing
because he's so busy. I see him. Yeah. I see him like ready to take off right now.
Yeah. So he's crawling.
So I do understand that.
Pulling up and trying to do everything.
Yeah, 7 months old. They busy.
Mm-hmm.
They are busy. So what do you think? Some things you could possibly do to begin to try to make time for Tiffany. And you're a mom, but we still got to make time for us.
I think the biggest thing is having a support system. Like, I think is important to have people who will allow you to get those moments to yourself. Like, okay, let me give you 5 or 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? To just
you like just give me 5 minutes.
yeah, like just give me 5, 10 minutes to just oh my goodness, do something. You know. And you know, when you don't get that, it's frustrating. It's really frustrating to not be able to have those little moments to yourself. Like my 5-year-old is clingy. Like I can't go to the bathroom without him at the door with his fingers on. You know, I can't do anything. So it's like
I know you like God. Why the COVID?
Yeah.
Dang it.
Like I leave the baby and then the 5-year-old is right behind me. I'm like, dude, give me 2 seconds, 2 seconds. But it's
like it's always they cling to the mom.
Yeah.
They'll be right there. They'll go right past dad and ask us for something. And I'm like, you just walk past your father. It's like mom is the most important person in the house to the child. I don't know why it is like that, but it is.
In most homes, I believe it is that way.
It is definitely that way. It's something that, and they see dad do it too, though. They see the daddy do it.
Right.
The daddy go to the mama.
And you right about that too.
So the daddy go to the mama. The mama must be the key. So let me go to the mama.
Right.
The mama is the one. And as much as we would like to just be like, well, go ahead, you know, they don't go. Yeah. They just it just always, you know, fall back on us being the head, you know, and they're the support system. But you gotta definitely give yourself the time that you need.
So how did you? I know your kids are older, Lydia, but like, how did you take those moments for yourself?
So I was I experienced postpartum depression with my last child, and it wasn't the type that I didn't, you know, it was sadness, like I couldn't have any more children. And this was gonna be the last child. And I felt like I had, you know, even though this was my last child and I wanted to not have children no more, I was torn between it so bad. Like it was shaking. Like I was like, oh, so I mean it happened right on the table. On the table, the morning I gave birth to her, a couple hours later, I was scheduled to get my tubes tied. I could hear them talking. I could hear the whole conversation the doctors and them was having. And they were having general conversations, but they must thought I was asleep. I felt like the surgery was torture because I felt all of that pulling and stuff. And the whole time I'm thinking and consciously awoke, it's like I was removing everything that was given to me to bear children and I was taking it away. So I was thinking about it then. When I came conscious, I constantly threw up and I just started feeling bad. Like I messed up my body. It was I was never sad because she was born, or I was never sad because she cried. I was never sad because she was hungry. I was always sad because she was the last one and I couldn't make no more children. And I got my tubes tied. And the lady said, ain't no coming back. Because even when I got my tubes tied, I'm thinking, well, sometimes people say they get untied. And then I said it to her, the doctor, and she was like, no, we took it all out. Like, what? I didn't say took it all out. I thought we was getting my tubes tied. We took it all out.
They removed your fallopian tubes?
The lady said they took it all out. Ain't no coming back. She said tied, cut, and burn.
That's the procedure I had. That's the procedure I had.
Oh, already?
And she only got 2.
Hold up. Do y'all want me to explain something to y'all? When I say I was done, I was done, okay? I asked that doctor, was it a girl?
You were scared you were going to have a 6-pack.
Yo, look, I asked that doctor, I said, ma'am, is it a girl? She said, yes. I said, go ahead and tie them tubes, okay? I don't need them. And she did. And I remember because I had a cesarean, so I was awake.
I was very convinced I didn't want any more children. I knew in my heart I didn't want no more children.
Still am.
I just thought, and I just knew that. But I can tell you that if I could have a baby, I would right now at 45, because
No,
I would. I would
I
have.
wouldn't.
I would have had another baby.
No.
I've heard other women say the same thing.
I would have
That is
had
around
another
that is around your
baby.
age frame. I've heard that more than once before.
I would have had.
No.
I mean, this is something I never really say, but honestly, getting my tooth tied to me was, to me, it was. It's a hard decision I made, and I think, even though I've never, had an abortion or nothing like that, tooth time, I made it clear that I didn't want to have any more kids. And then when I got it done, that was the sad part. And it feels sad right this moment, like thinking about it, that, I made it so I couldn't have any more kids to bring into this world. Not because I couldn't take care of them, not because I couldn't raise them. I didn't want to push no more and carry it no more. Lord,
So you saying if you could have a surrogate, you would do it again?
no. A surrogate means somebody that carried my baby for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I would take y'all children. I'd take them. But not my blood and somebody else's blood. That's crazy. I wouldn't want that.
Way.
Yeah.
I don't know how attached I would be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. No.
It's still your baby. They're literally just the oven. Your bun, his sperm, and their oven.
Movies. I watch too many movies.
Stop watching TV.
No.
Stop watching TV.
Let him go ahead and bump his head on camera. We gonna laugh.
We sure gonna laugh.
Cause he ain't had no business.
You look like he was getting ready to leap
He
off the
was.
bed.
Spider-Man leaked too.
But yeah, that's like I don't even know, I never got diagnosed by a doctor what I was going through. I kind of like kept it to myself. And because I always was in denial that I had my daughter. I was always in denial that I finally was pregnant. And I was just like, wow, I'm pregnant. Wow, I got a baby. Wow, I got a baby. Wow, I'm pregnant. I just was like, wow, at 32 years old, and I'm an adult, having kids is different than having a kid as a teenager.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
It's a totally different feel. It's a totally different emotion. I was able to just go to work and come home. I didn't have to, I had a house full of kids. I ain't had to want for no babysitters. I had help. She was in every room. She didn't know which room was hers. She had literally every room in the house. She could go sleep with anybody, be with anybody. The girl was spoiled. She was spoiled all the way coming up. But it took for her to be about 2 years old. She was 2 years old when I think I finally took a deep breath about it. And I started putting her in school and stuff like that. I took a deep breath about it. Okay, this is my child. My daughter now got a child. Now I'm getting grandkids. You know what I'm saying? And, it's okay. But, thinking about it right now, this moment, if I could get pregnant, I would have had another.
Even right now, you would have another baby today.
At 13, with her 13, I would if I could give birth right now to a baby, I would. Because think about it, I'm only 45, going on 46. I mean, I'm gonna be real healthy until about 75, 85. I could go to some proms.
And you know what's crazy? Like, people I had my baby at 38. I had my first one at 28. I had my second one at 35, and then I had my last one at 38. And people gave me like so much stuff about being older and, you know, having kids. And I didn't want to have kids young because I would have been the worst mom ever. You know, I think I would have been caught in between like trying to party and trying to be a mom, and my kids would not have turned out good. My mom would, you know, she was still alive, so she probably would have helped me, but I wanted to live my life before I decided to have kids, you know, and
yeah. You did it when it was time for you to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And most doctors that give that advice about us having children in the older stage, I don't know what they be talking about, because it's women, all women, really established women, they start having babies in their 30s.
Mm-hmm.
All that teenage pregnancies and stuff in early 20s, that's all new.
Mm-hmm.
That was just getting knocked up. Getting pregnant and getting knocked up is two different things.
Yeah.
And I got a girlfriend who just had a baby less than 2 years ago. Baby, the apple of her eye, 40 years old, first child.
Mm.
And then I have a girlfriend that's in her little born into her late 50s. She had her daughter at 40 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Apple of her eye, beautiful thing. Then couldn't even believe she had a baby at 40 years old. It still can get pregnant. Still can get pregnant. But I can't get pregnant.
But if you could, you would.
If I could, I would. I would need some good insurance, and I would have to. I would definitely be on some, be on a strict diet and put good things in my body, and you would just have to be real health conscious.
Mm-hmm.
I can't be eating whole pepperoni pizzas like I used to. 2 Whoppers.
2 Whoppers.
Basket of fries. 20 wings.
Well, you talking about while you were pregnant, you were eating like that?
Yeah.
I ain't like that.
Wait, did you say yes for her?
Yeah, I ain't like
that for her.
When I was pregnant with Naya, I literally would stop and get a whole piece and eat it. I didn't know what preeclampsia. I didn't even know.
You did.
I didn't even know what that was.
Really?
And I think that's when my blood pressure started affecting me now, because I have hypertension now. But yeah, I used to put down a whole pizza every day. I try to eat 3 slices before work started and the rest before work ended. And that would be my meal every day.
Has anyone gone through the phase of people not believing that you have postpartum?
So, I'm going to go ahead and say I thought it was when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend who was going through it, and I shoved it off like it wasn't real. Mm-hmm. So I know that I've been naive before and felt that way about somebody before. But but what I'm now, me and my 46-year-old self says, how dare you tell me my feelings and my emotions are not real?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because that's just like telling the person they don't get depressed. And if everybody don't have that love, boo-boo kitty relationship soon as they get their baby and can't bear to be apart from them. Mm-hmm. There's all types of situations. My situation is different from everybody's situation. Right. But, just to be naive and think postpartum is not real, that's bad on you. I know situations where people forget they got a child. Mm-hmm. It's stories out there that they got to know is real. Mm-hmm. I've heard horrible stories. I've seen some cases, and she don't even know what she did. She was so far gone. Nobody paid her any attention. Nobody gave her the help she needed. And, in this situation, this young lady killed her own baby. Killed her own baby. And she was telling her story in prison. I seen it on TV before. I don't even know her name. I cried like a fool.
That's the worst feeling. Like, this time, I don't, like, my mate and my sister, like, I don't think they really believe me. Like, I was telling them, and they didn't believe me. And it took for, I think, the baby's appointment, and we went, and you know, when you go to the baby's appointment, they make you fill out a little, you know, survey or whatever.
Answer your levels of this. When you think about suicide, they ask you all these questions now.
Yeah. So when I went to my doctor, you know, they transferred it over to him. So when I went to my doctor, like, he came in and was like, you have postpartum. And it took, like, the look on my mate's face was like dumb, you know, because it's like he didn't believe me. The whole time I'm telling you, it's like it took for the doctor to say, you know what I'm saying? She has postpartum.
But I think with men, they're like, they don't know what it's like to carry a child. So a lot of the things that we're going through emotionally and physically, carrying a child, they, you know, they don't, not necessarily saying they don't respect it, but it's like they're not in our shoes. So, and even after the fact, when we have a baby, your body has to get back on a balance. It has to, your hormones has to find a balance, and you're still trying to balance from being pregnant, going through the 9 months of dealing with the emotions of being pregnant. Then you got to have this baby. Then you got to deal with this baby. Then you got to deal with him. Then you got to deal with all the other thousands of other kids.
Your
so
life
it's like,
still has to go on.
It has to still go on with a new addition. I think I'll share a little bit. Go ahead, Toya.
But you know, with me this time with my postpartum, he realized it before I did. He said it to me more than once, but I didn't really want to say it. But I knew I was going through something, because sometimes when you are the one everybody in the house is clinging to, you know, like pulling on, you don't want to show weakness. I think that's what it was for me. I'm so used to being the strong one in the house. I'm the mother, I'm the nurse, I'm the wife, I'm the one everybody comes to for everything. So for me to have a weak moment like this and never really experience this, it kind of took a toll on me, and it saddened me, because I'm like, okay, now I gotta be weak, and I don't want to be weak. You know, I don't want to show these moments, but I was having them. But he realized it before I did.
Were y'all in there
and
breaking
he kept
stuff?
saying little. No, I didn't break stuff, but I was like, I was catching attitudes over anything. Stuff was coming out my mouth, and you know, I had a feeling, you know, like I knew something was wrong, but I didn't want to accept it. Like I was in denial, because I was like, no, I got this. I done had multiple kids before this one. Ain't nothing wrong with me, but it was.
Yeah.
It really was. Yeah, but I thank God that I do have a good support system.
I think my hardest, my postpartum was I would say my issue with my issue during my last pregnancy, she's 7 now, but that was another reason why I was kind of glad I did not have more children, because it was bad. Like, I love my baby, but after she was born, I had that cesarean. I'm trying to recover from that. I'm going home. I'm dealing with the husband, the 3-year-old, and I'm dealing with this newborn. For some reason, she was the only one I had patience for. So I didn't like my son. I didn't like my husband. Neither of them could say anything to me. Like, it was bad. And then I had got to the point one day I was so upset with my husband, and I don't even know why I was mad at him. But next thing I know, I'm in the kitchen. I'm breaking glass. I'm throwing mugs on the ground. I'm pulling stuff out the cabinet, just throwing it on the ground, breaking it. And he come running in there. He like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, I have no idea. Maybe he looked at me wrong. I don't know what happened. But it just, for some reason, it felt better to just break some stuff. But I didn't feel 100% better. It was still something wrong. And I still couldn't really figure out what was going on. So, and maybe like a few weeks later after that, I know I snapped on my son. He was 3 years old. I'll never forget it. And I snapped on him. And then that's when I realized, I was like, I've been mean to this boy a lot lately. It's like I was having an aha moment, and I'm like looking at myself, and I don't know what this child said. It might have been, Mom, I want something to eat. I don't know what he said, but I snapped on him, and then he made this face, and I was like, well, dang, what did I just say to him? Why was I just so mean? So I took off running and cried like I hadn't cried in years. But I will say, after that cry, I felt so much better. Yeah. It was such a relief. But it was like, it's so weird. I can't even explain it. And I guess it's so different for every female, because you don't want to believe it's something wrong. And you don't want to believe, you know what postpartum is. They even call it baby blues. You know what it is, but you don't want to acknowledge it. You don't want to believe it. You don't want to believe I have postpartum depression right now. So you're kind of in denial, and you don't want to talk to other people about it. Because it's not necessarily well, maybe you're embarrassed. I don't know. I just did not want to share my feelings with anybody. I just kind of didn't want anybody around. I just leave me alone. But it took a while for me to get there. But eventually I did. I'm not gonna say I remember how long it took, but after that good cry, I started to feel better after that. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I started to feel better.
It's tough. It's really tough, and it's like, like I didn't know what I was supposed to do. It's like, how do I just felt like I was in a hole, and I couldn't figure out how to get out of the hole, and I didn't think I was gonna get out of the hole. And like, it was dark. It was a dark time, and I just didn't know what to do.
That was another reason why I wanted to do this podcast about postpartum, is because I know how alone I felt in my time of postpartum, and I didn't feel like anyone would ever understand what I was feeling. But I don't want other women to feel what I felt, but to know I'm not alone. And then this will hopefully give other women a chance to see that you're not alone in this, and support groups and being there and being able to talk to somebody, that really helps.
Yeah.
We're not doctors or therapists or anything up here today. We're just women sharing our stories and experiences of having postpartum, and hopefully just talking to somebody and sharing your story can help you feel better, or just a little bit better, or try to figure out ways to get to being better. So that was why I wanted to do this particular story today, just to get women a chance to, talk to somebody. If you have a pastor, if you want to go to therapy, if you have a good friend, it take a village. When they say it's your core people, if you really have core people that you truly trust, and you can pull them in to help you just share with them about what you got going on. That's so important to pull from your people if they are willing to pitch in and help, because it's rough. Yeah. And now the kids are going to be home from school. I'm kind of having my own reservations about that. Because
there's no time to yourself.
No
time to yourself.
No. And so that makes it even more difficult. If you're dealing with postpartum on top of them kids being home from school right now, I couldn't imagine it. And my kids are old enough to go in your room. Get away. But you don't have that luxury, unfortunately, to just be because you guys have such young children, and they're really depending on you. Prayer helps, I'll throw that out there. I did a lot of praying. I did a lot of talking to God, and that kind of helped me through that situation. And then I started talking to people look, I'm going through right now.
But everybody is not helpful. When you know what I'm saying? You guys were the most helpful to me. But other people were not. If I reached out to somebody, it was brush off, whatever. You get what I'm saying? So it's people aren't always as
compassionate as others.
Yeah.
Some people just don't understand.
Yeah, everybody not gonna be as compassionate as others, and everybody haven't been through it, so they don't know. And you can only, most of the time, you can only speak from experience.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm here for you.
Yeah.
But what we can do is start getting together, and we can have it where when you want your moment, you drop off the kids, they can spend the day with us. And then I'll give you, that way that can be your moment. And when I'm ready to get me a break or whatever, I can drop somebody off at your house. We can start doing stuff like that.
Y'all heard how she said, drop somebody.
She didn't say all of them. Thank you for your generosity, T. Thank you for being kind.
Yeah, well,
my baby said drop somebody. Treasure trying to get up here.
I'm not going to just drop everybody off. I still say she might not have hair after that.
Treasure trying to get up.
Yeah, you might not have no hair after that.
Treasure trying to get to South Carolina right now. Treasure be calling for daddy, mama, everybody. She get up here. Well, when is I'm going? Oh,
you say that.
You can always bring King over here. Cam need a boy to play with.
Oh my God, that would be perfect.
Yeah,
that would be perfect.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect.
But and believe it or not, y'all said that, sometimes you just don't have that person to talk to or try to open up about. Don't forget these 1-800 numbers and all of this stuff that's been around for years. People try everything else. They try Jesus, they try that, but sometimes you need a listening ear. And those people are not fake. Those people are there as a big support system to, what was the telephone number back in the day that you used to call? And used to call the 1-800-HELP or 1-800-LIFE or something like that. Just even if you want to just get something off your chest, it is free. Think about that. Those things we don't think about that much, and I normally don't think about it. I've never really shared what I was going through. I kind of went through it by myself, but I had signs that something was wrong, but I didn't express it to nobody. I just went off another way. Like I might have picked up smoking cigarettes. That was another thing that I didn't never do, but I found comfort in doing it. And I was a sneaker too, a sneaker smoking. Like sneaking. What you doing? You smoke? Not really. But really, but yeah, just always just try to find somebody, and especially when your head is hurting and it's beating you up, and you don't drop to your knees and you don't walk, and it's still, it's gonna get better in time.
Yeah.
It's not going to never be more than you can bear, but some cases are worse than others. But if y'all made it through so far, I know y'all going to be fine. Y'all, it's not going to be a problem. It's not going to get the best of me.
Yeah.
Come here, Light Bright. Now go to bed for mama. He going to say, okay, and he going to go right to bed. He gonna go. Look, he gone.
Look, he gone already.
Yeah. He gonna do everything. He gonna be. Those are your kings, and think about the future and how to get past stuff.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, my 46-year-old self is not my 26-year-old self. So I'm more wiser every day. I'm still Lydia. I'm still real funny, real easygoing, real easy to be with. But I'm just getting so much wiser. Like, if I knew what I know now, I would have did this a little different. I'm learning stuff from younger people. I've always learned stuff from my cousins anyway, because they was always younger than me. Because I'm the last child of the first generation. So all my little cousins were like my regular cousins. So that's why I'm always in the picture with the second generation, because I was the youngest.
Yeah.
Then the youngest. So I was the baby of the grandkids. And then when the great grands came, I was like, yes, I got somebody I'm older than. So I always started off as the sister or the auntie, but really I was just the cousin. You know what I'm saying? But I was the last of all them old ones, because they were about 60s. They 60s, 50s.
Ain't gonna tell them you said that.
They up there.
Ain't gonna tell them you said
and
that.
I'm down here. They gonna hear it.
You're right. You're right.
But yeah, so they babied me.
Yeah.
All my cousins babied me, and I was the little one. Then I had people to baby when they start having kids.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of worked different for me. That's why I think I've been real young at heart, and I love young people, and I still attract young people. Like some of my closest friends up here are 23, 28. I only got two. A 28-year-old and a 23-year-old. Mm-hmm. And the 23-year-old young man, the smartest young man I ever seen in my life. He is so smart. So, just times change, things change, but things do remain the same. Postpartum is real. It's just like you never used to hear about no PTSD. Mm-hmm. Those people go over there to war and see these things, and then they carry these visions. Mm-hmm. Oh, man. This world could easily take us out of here just by thinking alone. Mm-hmm. But we got to pray, and we got to know that he's never going to give us more than we can bear. And like my mom said, repeat the 23rd Psalm. I ain't understand why that was the only prayer she used to repeat. Mm-hmm. But as I get older,
you get it.
I understand those words will carry you so far. And then when they don't carry you no more, repeat them again. Mm-hmm. I didn't know why she always said that. She was always repeat the 23rd Psalm. I'm like, what? That's the only Bible scripture she knows.
What'd you say? I need more. I need more. What'd you say? I need more, Mom. Give me more.
I did need more. I did need more. But that's why I started fellowshipping, so I can learn more. Oh, that happened too. I ain't heard that story before. Finish telling me. I love hearing stories.
Yeah.
My favorite story, just the touch of the garment. The story about, the lady made her way down there to touch Jesus' garment. That's my favorite story. I can hear that story by 50 different preachers, and I'll be like, she wanted to be there. Nobody wanted to be around her. And all she wanted to do is just touch the garment. Oh, that's so beautiful. That's my favorite story. Oh, you know the lady name, but that's my story now.
Okay. All right. So that will end our show for today. Everyone, we thank you for watching Diverse Thoughts today about postpartum. If you do need help in speaking to someone, I would say reach out to a pastor, reach out to speak to your OBGYN. I think they can possibly refer you to a therapist. Just, do as much as you can. Talk to your inner circle, talk to those around you, and see if talking to someone would just be helpful. Thank you, ladies, for being on today. Thank you, Tiff. Thank you, BESTYET, and thank you, T. So I'll see you guys next time.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Diverse Thoughts video podcast.
Put them damn kids to bed.
Girl, I got to go. Diverse Thoughts or something.
That's my shit.
You are not going to always like what someone else says, but you should always be able to voice your own opinions respectfully.